What's the purpose behind the marketing plan? You excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Let's do this, right? Let's do this and let's have fun with it too. To my first time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you being here. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with N-Dub Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today's episode is let's just get down to the nitty-gritty about this post-pandemic, post-COVID marketing. Like, what is up with it? Yo, for my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. For my worldwide listeners, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. Nothing but love to you. Yo, y'all, let's just get into it. But first, if you haven't already gone and left a review on iTunes, shame on you. Come on, y'all. You know I'm trying to get them reviews up. Come on, give a brother some love. But okay, look, okay, enough of that. If you haven't already because you don't have an iTunes account, I get you. It's all good. I still love you regardless. Still, please continue to share. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to go ahead and send us an email at info@nwebsterllc.com. All right, let's get into this, y'all, because I'm going to go ahead and send you the link to this HBR Harvard Business Review that was published by Janet Ballas. I think it is pronounced. It came out on March 10th, 2021. I thought it was a really good article, honestly, to keep it real with you. It's over 2 years old, 3 years old, right? And it's about 10 truths about marketing after the pandemic. I'm just getting right into it because I think it's interesting of how it's only exacerbated, in my opinion. I wanted to do this a long time ago, but it's 10 truths, and I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, which is why I just want to really get into it. And we're going to start with number one. The old truth is marketing begins, and this is where I want to share my screen, and I still think I can. Let me go ahead and share my screen for the ones that are watching. I can still share my screen, maybe, possibly. It's not allowing me to share my screen. Well, I can share my screen. I will get into it a little bit later. Here we go. So when it comes to the 10 truths about marketing, it's a great article. It's a short read. I want folks to be able to use this because I think it's important as we get into it, as in the nitty gritty. I say we, as in you are looking at what does that look like. I think it's really important, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and get into this right here because the old truth is marketing begins with knowing your customer. But the new truth is marketing begins with knowing your customer segment. Now, the big deal about this is, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, but that means truly understanding the situation on the ground, country by country, state by state, zip code by zip code. And for some business, such as banks, restaurants, and retailers, it even means tailoring communication store by store. This is really interesting because, and I'm going to stop sharing because this is where I have found it to be true in many ways, where when you go from one zip code or from another neighborhood to another neighborhood, it is different. And it doesn't matter if it's in the same town, same city, same suburb. It is different. So when you look at these, it is really interesting how we start breaking these things down because folks are not hey, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. People are not, and I'm going to go back to share my screen, people are not about this blanket marketing approach. So when they said the EY Featured Consumer Index did 5 ways of research of almost 15,000 folks in different countries, and they said, this is what came first for people. Affordability. Affordability was number one. Number two, that became top of mind when it comes to buying something. They were health conscious, then they were planet conscious, society conscious, and then they were experience conscious. that comes back to branding, right? So when we talk about the customer segment and how it has grown, I think it's really important to where we don't take that for granted. I'm going to jump to number two. Old truth. You are competing with your competitors, but the new truth is you are competing with your last best experience your customer had. Let's keep this real. And the real part is you are responsible from beginning to end back to the continuum from the beginning because people are buying your brand. They are buying the experience, and that is from beginning to end back to the beginning. If they are not making a returning purchase, you are doing something wrong. So this is why technology is a big deal, y'all. It is a big deal. Some people don't want to think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. So when I like seeing this because when COVID hit, it became a big deal. And I will say it says build the right data and technology foundation to support important use cases throughout the customer journey. You have to have the right data and technology, and a lot of folks don't want to use that. Coming back to the number one thing that you have to do is use your customer as feedback. They're going to tell you, not you, you're not your customer, but use your customers as feedback. Number three, old truth is the customers hope you have what they want. New truth is they expect you to have exactly what they want. And let me tell you, if they don't, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you are about to hear it because the physical retailers are getting slaughtered, right? They say, look, data enables us to create more relevant experiences across one or more dimensions, the 4 C's: content, commerce, community, and convenience. That's part of the 7 C's, which I did cover. But the 4 C's, one size fits all, that is really true. Number four, oh, truth. Courting customers is just like dating. It's courting customers is just like online dating. You know, online dating is swiping through apps, as they say. Finding your perfect match may be less about chance and more about data and algorithms. So, in marketing terms, they say we may have seen a shift from brand marketing to build reach to performance marketing to generate leads. So, you guys, we are in a place where CRMs matter. And if you're not using our CRM, again, in my opinion, you're going to get slaughtered. So this is where I think it's important to where I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to look at you in your eye. If you're not using some form of technology to capture your data, you're going to get slaughtered. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be sophisticated, but you will get slaughtered for the very fact that you're not capturing this data. That means you're not measuring. Then that means it's not important. And you do want to measure it because it is important. All right. Next thing, or next truth. Number five, the old truth is customers must sit at the heart of your marketing strategy. Now the new truth is customer must sit at the heart of your customer journey. Now, this is something that I find very interesting, especially when it comes to my marketing students at the time, where the customer journey is not really discussed because this is an algorithm that every company builds. Not every company has a customer journey. I have a customer journey, and I will be teaching the customer journey. That's something I'm going to be launching later on this year. But this is something to where I like this says right here. It is not realistic to believe that the operating model for all customer-facing functions can or should report to the same place. The notion that reorganization solves all is a common misconception. It is far more important to look thoughtfully at the operating model and consider the processes, technologies, talent, data models, and KPIs to find the right ways to align objectively around the customer needs. Then drive change accordingly. I like this part, the customer needs, y'all. If you are not solving the customer needs, this comes back to business. You are not going to provide them the right solution. And this comes back to the perfect segue of number 6. The old truth is relationships matter. No, the new truth is relationships are everything. So What I think is super important is that we used to say contacts lead to contracts. Relationships lead to contracts, but earning someone's trust, the KLT, know, like, and trust, is so much more different than things were. So, as I'm trying to get to this, how long have I spent talking here? I spent more than on my 10-minute mark, right? I'm trying to get through this really fast, and I'm not even halfway done, right? Or I'm over halfway done. But what I think is really important here is I'm going through the relationship piece. I don't want to skip over that because it's really important. And I do want to hit something that I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this. Let me make sure I say this right, because I don't want to gloss over the relationship piece, because I think a lot of companies do, and they make the grave mistake of like, oh, this is not important. It says, in a B2C context where trust also plays a tremendous role, it is a foundation of the value exchange between a company and a consumer, right? Let me just jump down to here. Consumers can make better choices if they know what they are agreeing to share with companies, and the clarity will foster deeper trust. That's the same with business to business. It doesn't change. Let me jump to number 7, because old truth is, agility is a technology process, when the new truth is, agility is a modern marketing approach. Y'all, it is super important that we stay nimble. But when we say agility, this is where, let me just read it for what it is. It says, as the crisis has unfolded, a company could quickly find its message was wrong, or its supply chain not in a position to deliver, immediately creating an advertising or a public relations crisis. Look, you got to be, in my opinion, honest and vulnerable, which leads to number 8. Or let me not skip this part. Operational, it means faster decision cycles and more flexibility across key areas like creative, budgeting, and media. Again, you got to be honest and vulnerable with your whole entire team. That means internal and external, because you cannot afford to mess up something simple because you want to fake the funk. That leads me to number 8. The old truth is, your brand should stand behind great products. Your brand should stand behind great products, right? That's the old truth. Well, now the new truth is, your brand should stand behind great values. It's pretty deep, right? Should stand behind great values. That is a whole podcast in itself. I kind of wanted to just stay there, but I don't. But it talks about the C-suite, and I'm going to leave that alone for right now. It's a whole nother podcast. Number 9, old truth. You need the right tech stack to drive modern marketing success. The new truth is, you need the right balance of factors, including your tech stack, to drive modern marketing success. Now, this is super deep, right? Because I'm going to read it because I can get caught up in some of this. It says, as an abundance of advertising and marketing technologies proliferate, it has been easy to focus on proverbial tech stack as an end-all game changer for marketing. However, this is funny. Having a Ferrari that you can only drive 40 miles per hour is not much use. For your technology architecture to drive result, it must therefore be matched with sufficient scale and data to fuel its success, the right use case to drive results, and the right approach to human enablement. That was deep. That was deep. And there's so much more to it, but I got to keep moving on, because number 10 is, the old truth is, marketing is important for growth, but now the new truth is, marketing is at the center of growth agenda for the full C-suite. Yo, this is where I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. At one point in time, it was just the department. It is now the whole entire company. If you're not focused on marketing, what are you doing? Like, for real, what are you doing? Like, cut it out. You're messing up. All right? Look, I'm going to share this. I think this was really good. This came out 3 years ago, y'all, and companies still have not gotten this. They're getting slaughtered, right? I got slaughtered because I didn't read this in time. You got to be nimble. You got to move with the times. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. Look, I was being stubborn, hard-headed, just, like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, bro? Come on, get your head in the game. Focus. Because, look, y'all, this marketplace is no joke. They don't care who you are or what you do. Because folks are going to do what they're going to do. And if you're not part of that solution of them buying what they want or what they need, you're going to get left out. So don't get left out, y'all. Do what you got to do to stay in the top of the mind when it comes to their needs and their wants. So when they bust out their wallet and swipe up their card, you're part of that process. So you heard it first here at Let's Talk Marketing with N-Dub, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster. So I wish you nothing but the best. So until next time, dream big and Godspeed. I'm out. What's the purpose behind the marketing plan? You excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Let's do this, right? Let's do this and let's have fun with it too. To my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you being here.